Hey, what's up, guys? This is BP. I'm here to introduce you guys to.
You can call me Duchess.
Can I call you Miss Duchess?
Lattice Duchess. I am a volunteer admin of the Lattice Exchange Telegram group.
Wow. So,
And
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that nothing I say, or not nothing I say, but nothing I say should be construed like coming directly from the company, because I am a volunteer admin. I'm not paid by the company. I've been working as an admin for probably 6 to 9 months in the channel. And so I feel like I know a pretty good amount. I'm not super technical, but I've got the overall picture, and I hope to be able to help.
Guys, thank you for tuning in for the podcast. And so we have Miss Lattice Duchess. So a little bit of back history. Back in 2019, I was actually really on fire with crypto. And, at that point, that is when she told me I inspired her to really follow her dreams. As far as you don't really have to have a lot of money to invest into crypto, so I guess she calls her like I'm like kind of a mentor to her. I'm just more of, I try to be like, stay humble, try to be a cheerleader. But so we've been part of the Telegram group, just like ICE community, just a handful of us where we all just try to help each other out. And so Miss Lattice she's like an OG friend of mine. So we've been there through the peaks and valleys, through all the volatility for the past couple of years. And so what prompted me to really interview her to talk about this project that she's talking about is, for 2 years I've never seen her so passionate about something. I'm like, wait a minute. This made me, the pennies dropped. This made me say, wait a minute. There's something about, I would talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people that are very successful. You would ask me that question, well, what was it about you that made you successful that other people really didn't get? And they said they lacked clarity. And so there's something about this project that most people lack clarity, and she's been pounding on the table to everyone in our community group to invest into it, and people are just like crickets. So this may be the opportunity for them to wake up and say, wait a minute, there's something going on. So go ahead and share a little bit what you feel, what you want to share about the project. Introduce yourself, and how long you've been in crypto, your whole introduction.
Okay. All right. So going forward, you can call me Kristina. It'll make me more comfortable.
Okay.
But Lattice Exchange is basically the DeFi king, okay, of all DeFi. Lattice Exchange is going to be a one-stop shop for not only crypto assets, but for traditional equities. That's what's so important. And I want you to understand that holding Lattice is like holding gold.
Okay.
That's a big statement, but I do want you to understand that Lattice is the financial interface for the DAG hypergraph transfer protocol ecosystem. And what's so great about the DAG hypergraph transfer protocol is that they have their own on-chain oracles. So all your layer 1 projects basically require smart contracts, okay? And smart contracts cost fees. Not only do they cost fees, but the reason a lot of them cost fees is because they require an outside third party oracle in some way to come in and validate the data. So for instance, the data is running on the protocol, right? And the transaction can be verified easily. Any protocol can do that. But the actual data being verified in real time running on the protocol has never been done before, and it cannot be done by any other project that currently runs. So that's why when you hear layer 0, you're going to hear a lot of layer 0 talk out there on Twitter crypto or Twitterverse or whatever you want to call it. But there is no other layer 0 protocol but the hypergraph transfer protocol.
Yeah, explain. I'm sorry. Can you elaborate a little bit about that? Because if I tell someone, hey, you need to invest into this. Well, what is it, like Bitcoin? Is it like Ethereum? No, it's about the layer 2 protocol. Hello, I would be confused if somebody told me that. You know what I mean? How would you like double down at somebody your neighbor next door neighbor?
Okay. So Bitcoin is a layer 1 project.
Okay.
It got its name 1 because it was the first decentralized blockchain project in existence, right?
Right.
Okay, and then Ethereum came along, right? And Ethereum was supposed to be a better Bitcoin because you could create other tokens on the Ethereum network that had utility and could be, actually solve a real world problem other than just currency. Okay? Until now, all of these other layer 1 projects, which I would say there's probably, I don't know, I haven't checked, but I bet there's about 8,000 different projects. Some of them built on Ethereum, some of them built on whatever, some of them are layer 1 projects, some of them are layer 2. I mean, there's layer 3 projects. Okay, there's layer 2 projects are like smart contracts. They attempt to verify data and transactions that occur on the base layer, right?
Okay.
But they cost an extremely lot of money. And layer 0 will allow cross-chain consensus. That means all of these different projects that are speaking different program languages, right?
Yeah.
They're able to finally communicate, BP. Until now, they all existed in a silo. Ethereum, ADA, Polkadot. Polkadot actually claims to be a layer 0 project because they have parachains. Parachains are other, projects that can talk to each other on the dot network. Right.
So let me see if I understand what you're saying. So basically, what you're saying is, for example, there's cryptocurrencies that you can only buy under the Ethereum ERC20 blockchains, and there's cryptocurrency that you can only find under the SPL blockchain underneath Solana. So this right here allows you to say, hey, you could actually buy this cryptocurrency, or you could actually work with any Polkadot, you could work with a pair with Polkadot and a pair with Ethereum or Solana. Is that what it's saying?
I'm saying even that and more than that, because legacy systems, and if you know what a legacy system is, it's like stocks, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Forex. Forex trading. It's like anything. It's like any business can plug and play directly into the layer 0 DAG network. Okay? And it can compute, read, write, transact, and produce validated data in real time. In other words, there is no other protocol in existence that could do that. For instance, you know how they have these self-driving cars, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's no way in the world that all the people in the world could have a self-driving car and conduct their self-driving protocol on Ethereum. It would never happen because it will be too slow and too expensive, right?
Right.
It just wouldn't happen. So what you have is you have DAG, which verifies, because they have on-chain oracles, right? They can verify data, not just the transaction that occurred, but data in real time. and can spit out future data and future results based on that. In other words, it could save a life. Okay, so Lattice inherits all the underlying properties from the base layer. The base layer is going to encircle the globe, and Lattice inherits the base layer and is able to through not smart contracts, but through estate channels and through cross-chain bridges, that's how that it becomes the financial interface of the hypergraph transfer protocol. So for instance, the hypergraph transfer protocol validates data in real time, right? And then it also needs to conduct financial transactions, correct?
Yes.
The way that they do that is through cross-chain bridges. It's sort of, without getting too technical, the cross-chain bridge on the Lattice state channel converts a token into a layer 0 token, an LOT token, and is interoperable throughout the entire network. So basically what we have is we have a network that's going to encircle the globe, and you're going to be able to transact different currencies and different equities, be it legacy or digital assets, crypto, whatever you want to call it, all through the base layer on the Lattice Exchange state channel.
Awesome.
So I think you're a little bit confused. So let me explain what a state channel is, okay?
Okay, yeah.
A state channel, well, first, let me explain that DAG, a directed acyclic graph, is the evolution of blockchain. You know, like when you buy your first car, it's a jalopy, right? And then you upgrade, and then you upgrade again, and we're all looking for the Lambo, okay?
Yep.
DAG and Lattice are the Lambo, bro, at least for some time. We've had blockchain for a long time. Bitcoin came out. I mean, we all love Bitcoin. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist, but we all love Bitcoin. But it is slow. It can actually, I'm doing from memory because I'm not super technical, but I want to say that it can process about 4 transactions per second.
Yeah.
It's pretty slow, right?
Yeah.
To put this in perspective, the hypergraph transfer protocol is going to be able to process about 1 million transactions per second.
No way, because the biggest one is Solana. They do 50,000 transactions per second.
That's why we're here today, bro.
Oh, so that's
so that
why.
You can.
So okay, so
that's why.
So what I interpreted is basically this is going to pretty much eat Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, everything combined, and still it's just going to surpass it all.
It is 100%. DAG is not necessarily going to surpass everything. That's not the goal of DAG. DAG's goal is to unite everything. In other words, you can understand the word base layer, right?
Yeah.
Again, we're going back to the same simple thing that we said a while ago, that all these projects have been siloed, and they've been like little train cars choo-chooing down the tracks with their own language, with their own money, with their own utility, blah, blah, blah. They couldn't talk to each other. DAG has made it possible for every single thing in this world to talk to each other, be it crypto or legacy. It doesn't matter. It's a plug and play. And it all comes from the chief technical officer, Wyatt Feldman Flock. You can look him up on LinkedIn. He has, hold on, I just want to real quick read you a little bit about Wyatt Feldman Flock. He owns a BS He has a BS in physics and in mathematics from the College of William and Mary in 2013. It says where his research focus was on quantum information theory and subatomic modeling. Wyatt is a software engineer with over 5 years of professional experience, specialized in distributed systems and machine learning. Okay, so basically, here's the deal. We've got the 5 guys. The 5 guys, I call them, you ever heard of 3 guys in a truck moving? We've got 5 guys in a blockchain, okay?
Wow.
5 guys in a blockchain. And there's 5 founders for Constellation. You've got Ben Jorgensen, he's the CEO and founder. And then you've got Wyatt Feldman-Flock, who is the CTO, Chief Technical Officer and founder. Benjamin Diggles, who is the Chief Security Officer and founder. And his primary job has really been background with the DOD, with the Air Force, and with the Pentagon. And this is why I did the disclaimer in the beginning of the video, because I don't want to. I've made a lot of assumptions, okay? And we are waiting on at least three different large announcements that will send this straight parabolic. I expect this DAG underlying protocol, I expect it to go parabolic. I really do. Most everyone does. We're expecting an announcement with regards to Amazon. And this is not a secret, so I shouldn't be able to hide it. There is a project that is being worked on with Amazon. And a lot of people, there's been a lot of FUD on crypto Twitter and whatnot that I want to, poo-poo right now. That they've been saying, well, everybody's a partner with Amazon. Amazon, Amazon's a cloud provider. Blah, blah, blah. No, our relationship with Amazon is much more complex than that. And we are expecting an announcement with Amazon. And then there's some rumors also about a top 20 crypto project that is going to have a state channel on the hypergraph. So there's not just a rumor, it's confirmed rumor. And I won't divulge what that is. And then turn around, and also there's a company that they have acquired that is going to basically give mass adoption a shot in the ass. Okay? So we're going to combine the crypto world with the legacy world in about one fell swoop with this one acquisition. So there you have it. There's 3 announcements that we're waiting on right now. And anyway, so back to the people. After you have your CTO, your CSO, your CEO, these guys are dudes, man. These are like the original bros, okay, of anything. They're not just, they're not, to me, I mean, I don't even know them. Like, I haven't shook hands with them or anything like that, but to me, they're not just like some dude, or not dude, but some guy that owns a company, but they're relatable. You know why they're relatable? Because every other week they do an actual hypergraph hour, an AMA, basically, where they reveal what the progress is as best they can, NDAs or whatnot. I've never seen anything like it. They are amazing. Let me not forget Matthias Goldman. He's the COO and founder, Chief Operations Officer. Amazing guy. I encourage you to look them all up. But the 5th guy is my buddy, and I don't even know him. I'm calling him my buddy. But Altif Brown. And it says here that he's the co-founder, but he also is very community-oriented. I'm involved with what we call the Sky Lab, right? And that is where we do a lot of marketing, and we do a lot of basically not groupthink. I don't want to call it that, but it is groupthink and ideas, and he basically is the center post to how businesses onboard to the DAG hypergraph, right? So I'm trying not to run on here, but the hypercube is and the accelerator program is how businesses onboard and they create their projects on the hypergraph. Okay, for instance, DOT or any other project, or even Ethereum, Ethereum is kind of sad, to be honest with you. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a disappointment to me. It's expensive. Anybody could create a token on Ethereum, and they could do a lot of marketing, and then they could just rug pull everybody. I'm not here to downgrade or to, bash Ethereum, but I'm not putting my money on Ethereum, not none at all. I am ashamed that Ethereum has become so centralized. Smart contracts are sort of centralized in that they always require an outside oracle from some central place to verify their data at a slow rate. I mean, it's slow. It's faster than Bitcoin, but it's slow. Okay? Now, if Ethereum would smarten up and Ethereum would get a state channel on the hypergraph, then through DAG tokens, they could become much faster. But they won't bite the bullet. There'll be some type of issue. I don't believe that they will. And I'm sure you've heard for a long time that Ethereum killers gonna be DOT or Ethereum killers, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Solana or whatever you want to call it. Nobody wants to kill Ethereum. Okay, a lot of projects are built on Ethereum. A lot of really good projects. I can name Solve as one of them.
Well, I guess maybe that may go to some of my next question along that. Like, how can they compete with Ethereum when all the majority of blockchains are underneath Ethereum? So it's like they're starting from the scratch from the beginning, right?
Yeah, no. It's easily going to compete with Ethereum because, number one, when we talk about Lattice, we're talking about cross-chain liquidity and cross-chain swaps that are basically feeless. Have you ever heard of such? You'll be able to swap ADA for Solana. Every single combination of every surviving digital asset will be swapped on Lattice.
Oh, okay, I got you now. I get it.
Any combination. Any combination.
Yeah, because on my Trust wallet, I can't trade anything that's in the ERC20 that's on the Binance Smart Chain. So I have to kind of like move things around. So that would be a game changer in the crypto world.
100% a game changer. Not only that, Lattice is going to be a DeFi hub. Basically, when you think of a hub, to me, when I think of a hub, when I think of a one-stop shop kind of thing, I think of centralized. Don't you?
Yep.
Okay, but that's not true because actually smart contracts is a problem. Smart contracts on Ethereum creates a centralization problem. That's what causes the cost of Ethereum. Is all those smart contracts, right?
Right.
So to be truly decentralized and not go constantly back to that, then we need to have on-chain oracles which verify the data in real time at the source of the data. Boom, 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 boom. And as the larger the ecosystem grows, the more DAG is collateralized for nodes, the larger the ecosystem gets and the faster it gets. It is a living, breathing organism, is basically what I want to explain to you. It's sort of like a consciousness that is going to encircle the globe. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to avoid crypto in general. I could have been rich years ago when Bitcoin was $20 or something like that, 20 cents. I can't even remember. But I could have bought a lot. But I am, let's say that I had read Revelation, and I was a little concerned that, I didn't know the difference between decentralization and centralization. It comes down to that. Ethereum is scary because it leads towards centralization. If you are constantly relying on some central source like a Bitcoin miner to verify data, and it slows down your transaction and it robs the people of money like the standard fiat system has done for years. That's why it's dying, okay? Is they just keep printing and printing and printing and robbing people with taxes and whatnot, and that's just a whole nother subject. But Ethereum is looking like that to me. It really, really is. It's not sustainable. There is no layer 1 project out there that is sustainable unless they are on a feeless base layer which will talk to each other and transact financially with each other. So basically you have the base layer technology of DAG, Hypergraph Transfer Protocol, and then you have a state channel, businesses, all state channels. I mean, okay. Currently, they have the Air Force running on DAG. Well, let me explain a little something to you. The Air Force was a pet project, not a pet project, but what do you do when you give someone an opportunity to prove themselves? That's what the Air Force did with Constellation. They passed, okay? And now the Pentagon is looking at it. And the way that I can explain that is they changed their entire system out. You can look it up. It's plenty available on Google. The Pentagon has decided on JADC2. I don't have it pulled up here, but I'm going to pull it up. Joint Air Force, hold on, JADC2. I'm going to look it up. JADC2. Joint All Domain Command and Control. Okay? This is now not just the Air Force partnering with DAG. This is all branches. And basically we can just rename the Pentagon into the hexagon, right? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. So they're actually working with the government, this crypto already.
100%. Been doing it for 2 years. They've been running all Air Force data. We are waiting on an announcement, and I'm taking some liberty here, but not much. In my opinion, the Air Force was plentifully satisfied with the real-time data, combat data they saw encrypted. And you know they're partnered with Konami. Konami is the file storage for data. DAG is the rails, right? And guess who is the interoperability? Quant network. So you've got the trio. Basically, dude, you are looking at the big trio. Konami, Quant, and DAG. That's it. The rails, the storage, and the interoperability. The reason I went all in is because I can see the writing on the wall. Either you can see the writing on the wall or you can't. You're either a DAG chat or you're not. And I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, that a lot of them are going to die. They just are. They're repetitive. They're rug pullers. Their projects aren't worth anything. And if they are worth something, they'll be on the hypergraph. If they're not, they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
Basically, what we're going to see is we're going to see industry after industry join the Hypergraph Transfer Protocol. because they know that this is the new global economy. And the only way that they can have consensus and talk is on this generative system. And when I say generative, it's for the people. And let me just throw in there that not only all these things that I've told you, but also DAG and Constellation Network took the community first approach. Look how cheap DAG is right now, right, bro? It's 20 cents, 22 cents or something today, 23 maybe.
You think it's gonna go up? You think it's gonna go up like Bitcoin, like 20,000?
Dude, it is going to fly. And I expect, I mean, this is between you and, I mean, look at, let's talk about Lattice Exchange, the interoperability, the financial interface, all of that. I already told you, let me tell you real quick what all it's going to be doing. It's, first of all, the trades, the cross-chain swaps are going to be 0.3% of the trade. It's going to perform true atomic cross-chain swaps. It's got launchpad services. A lot of people have launchpad services, okay? But the launchpad services participate in the fee sharing mechanism. So if you hold Lattice for the rest of your life, you will be deposited funds due to all transactions that occur on the Hypergraph Lattice stake channel, right? So any financial transactions that occur, either equities or digital assets, then I expect the fee sharing mechanism to be close to $1 billion a month at some point. I expect, this is between you and I expect the DAG token to go easily to $20,000 per token. I'm sorry, not DAG token, Lattice token. We're talking about the Lattice Exchange, the financial interface. So currently, the have you looked at the circulating supply?
I'm looking at, I think it was like 32 million. Is that
right? It's somewhere. It's somewhere around there. I haven't looked at it recently, but the max circulating supply is expected to be right around 35 million by the end of the year, and in 4 years, it's going to still be under 50 million. If that will tell you anything, okay? We already know what Uniswap has done. We already know what Sushi Swap has done. We already know what Pancake Swap has done. We know Rune has been hacked 4 times, okay? Now, Orn is an entirely different thing because it aggregates liquidity from DEXs, right? So it doesn't compete with Lattice, but completes Lattice. In other words, it will be aggregating liquidity from Lattice. I mean, we may be late to the game as far as in people's eyes, but we're not late to the game. What I'm saying is DAG has taken a community first approach, the total opposite of what Globalist would want. Globalist would want you to seat all of the big tech guys and the big companies and everybody else, seat them at the table first, right? And then invite the people after you invite all of their friends. Okay? That's not what's happening here. What's happening here is Constellation has built the community from the ground up quietly, okay? And now, after onboarding the DOD and the Air Force and things we don't know, and things we don't know, and things we don't know, now they're inviting businesses on it, okay? So soon we'll expect to see 100% businesses. So basically, a state channel that runs on the hypergraph is a complex, self-enclosed smart contract that is a business, right? So BP, it's mind-blowing. I'm just telling you, if you're not in, you're not in. But you will be in. because everybody is going to be forced to be in at some point.
Oh, it's like
it will happen.
Taking the vaccine, they're forced to take the vaccine.
Yeah, I don't mean it to sound like that, but it's the fact. You can choose to go with the global central bank, thing. And hey, in my opinion, all central bank digital currencies will be traded on Lattice because it can trade legacy system and Forex and all that, stocks, everything will be traded on Lattice. Hey, dude, this is the future. Okay, get on board or get left behind. And if you get left behind, then what's going to happen is you'll be forced into the system, and you just won't make millions. But you already were smart, right? You moved to Puerto Rico. You've been in the crypto industry. You're forward thinking. You understand. Okay, you in this concept. What I'm telling you, this is not strange. You know that all blockchain layer 1 projects have not had a way to talk to each other, have not had a way to cross-chain swap from one to another, right?
Right.
We've been living in an illusion with regard to fiat, right? Currency, all fiat, not just the United States, but every single central bank around the world is about to implode. Basically, El Salvador jumped on board and said, hey, I think we're going with Bitcoin, right? So basically, they're the pace setter in my mind. Let's move. Well, Bitcoin is slow, but Bitcoin is a value holder, right? So it's basically gold. And here's what the Lattice Exchange is going to do. The Lattice Exchange is going to capture liquidity from all L1 blockchains, all of them. And it's going to transfer it into an LOT token and make them easily interoperable with their partners, Quant and Konami. All of this stuff, this is the future. And I wouldn't be as on fire about it if I didn't know it for certain. I know it in my bones like I know Jesus Christ in my bones.
All right, so we have, because this is supposed to be, I think, an hour episode, we have to do part 2. Is there anything else you want to say? We'll continue on, but what are some last, 2 to 3 minutes you want to say in this first podcast?
Okay, superb. That's amazing. I mean, dude, I can't believe we've been on the phone. I'm looking at the time, 49 minutes.
Yeah, it's already an hour.
That's when I'm like blown away.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it back once you edit it. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting, and they are going to be on fire about this. I promise you.
That's awesome.
And you're going to get followers like you never saw.
All right.
I think so. I do. And if they don't, they're going to be on my shit list. Let's put it that way.
We'll keep that in there. I want people to hear that.
Yeah, on the poop list. Hold on. Let me think of what I would want to add real quick. To this. Oh, okay. I know. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Our time has come to an end, but basically the only thing that I would want to add is that Lattice currently is an ERC20 token. And the reason it's an ERC20 token is because the state channel is still being worked on. Once the state channel goes live, which we expect it to be by the end of September, right? Then Lattice will move over to the hypergraph. Now, the Lattice ERC20 tokens will never be obsolete, I guess is the word I'm looking for. They're always interchangeable on the hypergraph. You can just easily self-custody right on up to the hypergraph, swap it out for whatever. That's not going to be any big deal. I know this may be concern for some people, but they'll move right on over to the hypergraph. And all of these bridges, these cross-chain bridges to different assets and whatnot will go live one at a time We just have to have patience, right? Because this all is in the program. Let me say this. DAG cannot be hacked. The underlying HTTP protocol cannot be hacked. And the reason I know that is because the entire Pentagon is relying on DAG. And they wouldn't have done that if it weren't for 2 years of constant proof of military operations running on the network. So, it's not the underlying protocol that can be hacked, but rather the complex logic which is involved in constructing the state channel. Okay? Similar to a smart contract, but on a much larger scale. So the programming has to be right. And that's what's delayed us just a hair with regard to getting this Lattice online. But it's all amazing stuff. I'm super excited. Our launch pad is going live August 11th. You'll be able to stake Lattice for an allocation in different size pools. And the reason we have different size pools rather than tiers is because we don't want the little guy to miss out. So, for instance, you might only be able to stake 5,000 Lattice per person in a small pool, but in the next pool you might be able to stake 10,000, or in the next pool it's 50,000. And the reason is we don't want whales to dominate. We want you to be able to get a portion, a sizable portion of these new businesses, these new state channels, these new microservices that are going to be built on the hypergraph, and they are amazing. I'm telling you right now that DAG is taking on every single troubled industry for the people. And Alchemy is our first project that is coming up on the Lattice Launchpad, and you'll be able to stake Lattice for an allocation in a pool. And they are taking on the publisher, the actual advertiser themselves, and the consumer of advertising all at one time. They're eliminating almost 50% of every single dollar that is currently lost right now in advertising. So if you can imagine money laundering, if you can imagine BS crap that goes on with the media, dude, you better get on board with Alchemy quick. Because Alchemy is fixing to create social media. They're unbelievable. ALKIMI, Alchemy. They are the first project to go on the launch pad starting August 11th. And within the next 30 to 90 days, I expect Lattice token to go up significantly. And then once cross-chain swaps come, and that'll be the end of September or possibly October. Basically, you can just parabolic that. Okay? I personally expect Lattice to be probably right at $100 per token by February. And that's no joke. And that's the way I'll end it.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening to this podcast. We'd love to have you again. And that's a wrap. Click on the link below to join our Telegram to get the latest tips and updates. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, y'all.